Good morning, everyone. Well, I assume it's morning. If you're catching us live, it's definitely morning. And we are on to day 10. We did this whole 10-day challenge. It's amazing how fast it's gone and how amazing it's been in terms of each day building on each other. And Regena, who I just adore, right? Her beautiful way that she just shares all of this in a way that I feel like, because some people have never done yoga before. And I've done a little bit. And like I said, I knew a few poses, but just like, I feel like now, I could like do some more combinations of stuff, and it's just been great. So I hope that your family is doing this together. What a beautiful time to kind of spend together. And I wanted to just, because one of the things that seems like was a common theme before we get into what today's pose is, one of the common themes that seemed to run throughout this entire challenge was a lot of it went back to a trust that our bodies want to be well, a trust in ourselves, a trust in we can wake up and choose to focus on the things that are really good out in the world, and trust that we can have more of those things, a trust in our families in terms of how we connect, and really building that foundation of trust. And I feel like, I don't know about you, Regena, but I feel like that's been sort of the common thread, right? It's sort of weaved throughout the entire challenge, at least for me, in terms of how I've kind of connected spiritually in with some of the things that some of the poses that Regena has actually picked out for this challenge. So I wanted to just like real quick make you think about this. If you were to stand up right now and then sit back down in a chair, and do it with gusto, before you sat in that chair, you wouldn't go, man, you know what? I wonder who made this chair. I wonder if it would support me, right? You just would trust that chair is there to support you, that no matter what happened, that you could sit down with intention and that chair is going to be there for you. And that same level of trust is the same level of trust that you should have with your family, you should have with your health, you should have with, if you're doing all the right things, right? You should be able to trust that your body is going to stay well, and trust that your family is there to support you no matter what happens. When you can get to that level of trust, then you've really achieved something. So I think that's would be the goal, is to be able to trust, just like every time you sit in a chair and you don't really wonder whether or not it's going to be there to support you. So I wanted to just kind of weave everything back together. But today's pose, it's an easy one, but as Regena's going to share, it's a very meaningful one. And it's called Shavasana. And it really means it's the sleeping pose. Is that correct? Also. And think about that, right? It's the sleeping pose. How hard can that one be, right? But guess what? Regena's going to share more about that. But she says it's one of the hardest ones to do. Why is that hard for us? Because we have to slow down. And we're not wired we get faster and faster paced, and we're not wired to slow down. I really think this time that we're in, and everybody will know what I mean by when I say this time that we're in, even if you're watching this a year from now, everybody knows what the time that we're in right now, with some of the stuff that's going on out in the world. It has sort of created this time and space for us to slow down. For many people, not for all, but for many. And so I think there's been a shift in the awareness, what that can mean, because, and many of you have heard this before, but you know what, we're not human doings, we're human beings. And it's in the space of being that we can actually find ourselves and do the most internal growth that we need to do. So I would just say today, wow, what a beautiful way to end this whole journey that we've been on with Regena, in terms of allowing us to just be. I really delved into meditation myself, and it took me actually, and I shared this throughout the challenge a little bit, it took me getting sick, and it kind of forced me last year to slow down. But ultimately it was the gift, right? And you would have thought that could be a gift, but it really was, because I had to step into the space of just being. And I would have never done it. I mean, I can be honest, I would have never done it if something like that hadn't happened. If something like this hadn't happened to a lot of people, I don't know that people would have slowed down, because we were on the rat race of life, as Regena pointed out yesterday. So with that, I would just say, hug your family, do these kinds of things with them, really connect with them, because at the end of the day, you want to be able to stand in that trust that no matter what storm, because storms happen in life, no matter what storm comes or what you're facing, you should have a trust that you can do it together. So Regena, why don't you go ahead and take it away and show us the challenge for today with our poses.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Thank you everyone for joining us. We are on day 10, as Cheryl mentioned, of the Poses with Purpose Challenge. So happy to have you on this journey with us. Thank you for joining. And our intention is that this journey is really just the beginning, and it's allowing you to move into not only the awareness with your family, but also with yourselves, mostly with yourself, to show up in the world differently, right? And I think of what I'm visualizing as a snake, right? Snakes, they shed, and as reptiles, they shed their skin and they evolve into something different, something we like to think better, right? And obviously, we're not snakes, although some people are still. We won't go there, but let's hear Cheryl in the background laughing.
I turned my mic on just to join you in that one.
Thank you. That was not intentional. That just showed up. I guess it needed to show up. So anyway, with that, the intention and the desire that Cheryl and I have is for this 10 days to inspire and support you in having a healthier lifestyle and having discussions with your family that are supportive and loving and really empowering, and allowing you through the poses to find purpose and to find opportunities to settle into, yes, the physical poses, but also the methodology and the spirituality behind the poses and the meanings. And so I love this pose because it's very, very simple, but it's hard. And the reason I say that is because when you're in the middle of a class, and let's say there's, an hour class or 30 minutes or whatever it is that you're doing, and you're sweating and, you're moving and you're flowing. And then all of a sudden the teacher says, okay, slow down. Now you're going to rest, right? And most people know this pose. I call it sleeping pose in English, or some people call it corpse pose. I'm not a fan of that name, but it's a great pose because it allows you to slow down. And it's done usually at the end of class, sometimes in the middle of class. And there's no wrong time to do it. You can do it anytime. What's most important is that you really rest and you allow your body and your mind to slow down. And I'll be the first to say that when I first started yoga, it took me about 3 years to allow myself to do this pose. I would leave 5 minutes before class every time because I didn't think I needed this pose. And I didn't think I had time. I figured I would rather save the 5 minutes and get out of the parking lot and zip my way over to my next thing. And what I realized in doing that was I was not only hurting my nervous system, but I was also compromising my mental state. And it showed up later in my life, dealing with depression, dealing with anxiety. And I'm sharing this because it's really powerful and it's an important pose for people, because I don't want to use the word force, but it certainly gives permission, a much needed permission for people to slow down. And so being the person I am now, full of love and light, and I really feel that I have been on this amazing path and journey to help teach people that it doesn't have to be that way. And that, having gone through several rounds of depression, I can tell you that I'm no longer slave to that, and I don't worry about that because I have tools and techniques like these to help me along the path. And so that's what we teach. That's what we how we serve. I know Cheryl has had her path, and there's a reason that we're brought together because we've been able to go through the journeys ourselves, which is now helping us to do the same for others. So I really want people to know the power of this pose, and there's something very, very courageous about taking the time to do it. So with that, we're going to do the pose. So as you come down into your mat, I want you to go ahead and just allow yourself to come down slowly. And this in itself is an exercise. This is actually part of boat pose. And you might even feel your abdomen and your abdominal muscles engaged here. Just coming down slowly. And then drawing everything down, relaxing. And actually, before you do that, I want you to grip your hands and go ahead and tighten every muscle that you can, everything in your body. Tighten it up, even your face. Like scrunch everything up, the forehead, the mouth, the toes, everything. And then Nice big inhale and exhale. And completely relax. Again, nice big deep breath. And relax. One more nice big inhale. Feel the chest, feel the lungs. I want to see your belly reach towards the back of the floor. And release. Okay, so that was about 30 seconds. How did you feel in those 30 seconds? Was your mind racing? Asking, when is she going to talk again? This is too long. This is too short. What's going on? I have to go to work. I have to make a phone call. Blah, 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 blah. Or could you just be still? That's the work. So again, this is a beautiful pose. It's a wonderful reset. You can do it any time of day. And, I just request that people do not underestimate the power of this pose. Because this pose is exactly what's happening in the world right now. Is we're really being encouraged to slow down. And I'm saying that as I'm saying it to myself. So we all need it. So we're going to go back to the beginning. We're going to start from day 1 and do our flow. And then we're going to end up back at our day 10 challenge, which was the Shavasana pose. So we're going to first start as if day 1, standing arch, bring arms up overhead, draw the shoulders down towards the floor. Take a nice deep breath. Take a nice back bend. Beautiful. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to come to warrior 2. Nice, beautiful, bold arms. Press the belly in towards the back and smile. Love it. Beautiful. And then bring your hands together. You can draw your attention inward, and then we're going to come to revolve triangle. So revolve triangle, we'll stay on this side. So revolve triangle looks like this. And then extended triangle, we bring the arm up overhead and then draw the shoulder back so that it's not, you don't want to be too far out this way, but you also want to give yourself a little bit of a stretch. Come back to center. Bring your hands to your heart. Beautiful. Then we're going to come down to the floor and do locust. Hands at the sides and then lift up. Sternum, chest up. Beautiful. Bring your hands to your chest bone. Lift up for cobra, baby cobra, and then all the way up for upward dog. Beautiful. And then we're going to go ahead and come back, upward dog. Since we're here, we'll do a little downward dog. Most of you know this pose. Beautiful. Just getting a nice stretch there. Nice. And then we're going to come back down to the floor. And then this time, let's keep our left leg underneath. Bring the right leg up for spinal twist. Take your left elbow to your right knee and take a nice big twist here. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale. Beautiful. Arms up. Bring your hands to your heart. For breath, very nice. And then we had twisted stomach, so we're going to come down. And then let's go ahead and let's take our legs to the right. And then draw our left arm to the left side, opening up the left side body, getting a nice twist. Beautiful. Then back to center. Beautiful. And then Shavasana. So actually, we're going to stay down at the bottom. I thought we had one more, but we don't. Thanks, Cheryl. You just close the eyes here for a breath or two. Beautiful. Let's do that one more time so we have that on the other side. So we're going to raise arms up overhead. Standing arch. Nice big stretch. Beautiful. And then coming to warrior. Remembering to smile. Big stretch. Beautiful. And then revolve triangle. And then extended triangle. Beautiful. Arms up overhead. Beautiful. And then coming down to the mat for locust. And then hands to the sides, up for cobra. And all the way up, upward dog. Beautiful. And back to center. And then this time bring your right leg underneath. We're going to do the spinal twist. Right elbow, left knee. Come up. Beautiful. And then twisted stomach. And this time we're going to bring our legs to the right. Or the other way around. Legs to the left, arms to the right. Beautiful. And then go ahead and drop the legs down to your sides and the arms coming to a nice shavasana. Beautiful. All right, everyone. Great job. Thank you so much for joining us. May you take this energy that you've cultivated over the last 10 days, the lessons, the experience, and the essence of this 10-day challenge, Poses with Purpose. May it inspire you and give you the strength to keep moving forward. Thanks for joining us.